Now, just a few moments ago, we heard the former First Minister of Scotland and titan of Scottish politics, Alex Salmond, has died at the age of 69. Well, joining me now for a quick explainer is Barrister and writer Steven Barrett. But first, I want to talk to him about Alex Salmond. So, Steven, thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, the very sudden, tragic news about him, about Alex Salmond. Steven, your first thoughts?
It's sudden. It's tragic.
Yeah.
I think we need to remember that we are all human and that we can all go very quickly. And perhaps when we take chunks out of each other in public life, which happens particularly on social media, perhaps we might reflect on that. This is a titan of politics, whether you agreed with him or not. He was an incredibly gifted politician. And, you know, my entire life, he's been a force. It's shocking to hear news like this, and it's terribly sad. His poor family will be finding out just now. And I think it's useful if we use these periods to reflect and really think about, you know, as a society, do we disagree that much? Do our disagreements matter that much? Maybe we are all in this together.
Yeah, I think what you've just said there is true, isn't it? Sometimes we completely forget that actually we're all fallible, we're all mortal. And, you know, when we are, you know, debating and arguing with each other, that actually that person might not be there tomorrow. And we need to sort of take that into account. Stay there. We'll come back to you, Steven, because we're going to discuss the ECHR. But also joining me now is my panel, broadcaster and columnist Lizzie Cundy, and also entrepreneur and businesswoman Joanna Jarju. I'm going to start with you, Lizzie Cundy. Terrible news.
Terribly. I mean, we were just in the green room when it was announced, totally shocked and saddened by this news, totally shocking. And our hearts go out to his family at this tragic time. But it just goes to show no one is invincible. It doesn't matter what power you have or what position you have. You know, life can take you like that, and it's tragic. But what a huge force he's been to Scotland and in the political world, and a real character. And he just got onto doing a lot of television. Very sad, because I recently did a show with him.
Did you?
Really, really upsetting.
Yeah. So you know, nice guy.
Very nice guy, big character, and you know, just shocked. Absolutely.
Joanna Jarju.
Yeah, no, I would echo everything that Liz has just said. I think that just in terms of Scotland's history in the SNP, he was so pivotal in so many different things. And I think that, you know, we'll probably start to see more conversation about his legacy and certain things that he was able to do, really things that I respected, like abolishing tuition fees, which I would love to have seen happen here. Also, you know, scrapping prescription charges and things that really I felt like took Scotland way ahead when it comes to looking after its people. So just incredibly sad news and just a massive shock, really.
Complete shock. Well, listen, keep your thoughts coming. We will continue to follow the story and bring you more details on that throughout the show. Now, just to remind you of the breaking news that we've just learnt that the former Scottish First Minister, Alex Salmond, has died. He's died aged 69, so quite young. He led the Scottish National Party between 1990 and 2000. And then again, he led it again between 2004 and 2014. He's obviously a prominent figure in the country's nationalist movement. Now, of course, he was a titan of Scottish politics and quite an incredible character. And, you know, of course, he had so much energy, enthusiasm. He brought a lot of life to the movement. And he was a stalwart. He was giving a speech in North Macedonia this morning. It's understood that he died at some point after that event. Now, Salmond was the First Minister, as I said, between 2007 and 2014. So joining me to discuss this is my panel, commentator and broadcaster Lizzie Cundy, an entrepreneur and social commentator Joanna Jarju. Joanna Jarju, I'm going to come to you about this now. Alex Salmond, the Scottish leader, Labour leader, was one of the first to pay tribute to Alex Salmond. It does sort of, you know, get you thinking, because he was incredibly young, wasn't he?
Incredibly young, and it just shows how short life is, really. And I think that sometimes when people are public figures and they're such big political giants, especially in this social media era, we You know, a lot of people don't really see them as human as much. It just shows, you know, he was tweeting a couple of hours ago, and you never know, you know, what he could have been talking about or what somebody could have responded. I think, you know, just being more wary that we are actually dealing with human beings, even when they are public figures, is really important. And it's just, I'm still quite shocked.
Yeah. Well, in a statement shared on X and the social media platform, this is Anasawa. He said, the sad news of Alex Salmond's passing today will come as a shock to all who knew him in Scotland, across the UK and beyond. Our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult time. And on behalf of the Scottish Labour, I offer our sincere condolences to all who will be mourning his loss. Quite something, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
The political world will really be feeling this, and Scotland, who he did so much for. But as we say, at such a young age, at 59... 69, sorry. It's such a young age to lose your life. And, you know, just to be on Twitter beforehand, apparently he was in great spirits today in his speech. It's very frightening. And it's such a shock and so sad. Just feel for his family at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, look, Anna Salmond went on to say that Alex was a central figure in politics for over 3 decades, which is, you know, he did span that political timeline, and his contribution to the Scottish political landscape cannot be overstated. It is right that we recognise Alex's service to our country as First Minister and to the communities he represented as both an MP and MSP. So this is breaking news. If you just tuned in, welcome. This is GBNews, Britain's news channel. We bring you the news that former Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond has died today, aged just 79. Incredible news, as it were, because he does that 69 these days is a very young age. I think still joining us now is Steven Barrett. Steven Barrett, now we talked about the fact that people do take chunks out of each other all the time and then suddenly they're not there. I wonder what this will mean to, in particular, Scottish politics. A lot of people may be looking at the whole independence row that people have been going on and on and on. Perhaps there's more, you know, bigger things to be focusing on, like each other.
Yes, and oftentimes when we pick fights with each other, we lose sight of the real disagreement and we focus much more on the idea of winning or losing. And that becomes much more important to us, really, than what the actual argument is. And I think it is much more important to reflect upon the fact that we are all of us, every single one of us, watching this, listening to this, you and me, we are all, you know, human beings who will sadly pass at some time. And we never know when that will be. And we could be kinder to each other whilst we accept that as a truth. And that doesn't mean that we can't disagree about things, of course. That's absolutely true. I mean, I'm not with Alex Salmond, but that's not important. We can respect each other as human beings, respect each other as people who are going through the same experience together and who will ultimately embrace the same event. Now, this is, I mean, I hope his family are just hugging each other, because that's what I would want my family to be doing. But, you know, our hearts must go out to them. Otherwise, what are we? If we don't send our love and our affection to them, then I think we've become sort of something I wouldn't want us to be. I happen to be talking to you from a party where my substitute mother and my child are in the next room, and ultimately family is the most important aspect. We do all go through this together. We could be nicer to each other, Nana. I really think let's maybe use this as an opportunity for that. Let's push that message.
Let's all be nice to each other. Thank you very much, Steven Barrett. Really good to talk to you. There you go. Right, of course, Alex Salmond was a huge figure in our politics, and whilst lots of us did disagree with a lot of his policies, there was no denying that he was incredibly skilled in debate, so may he rest in peace. Well, let's bring in my panel, Lizzie Cundy and also Joanna Jarju. Final words, Joanna Jarju, on this one?
I just think that his legacy will live on, really. I think even though we all know that the Scottish referendum didn't go his way, but I think that even in terms of more powers to devolved governments and things like that.
Yeah, and a real force in politics, and will be forever remembered for his great character. And what a nice guy, I have to say, really nice guy.